it's just really ironic that at the time that we live in, where information is the most accessible it has ever been, it is now the hardest to get reliable information.
Subscribe to this channel. In case you are watching this channel and have not subscribed.
Disney, of course, has gone down the drain. Everything that we grew up with has been ruined because there's just an agenda everywhere. And Disney Plus has the Proud Family. Remember the Proud Family. I watched it when I was a kid. I liked the Proud Family. There was nothing that I could detect that was overtly political when I was a child. Well, now they're bringing back that Proud Family Kids series, and they are pushing reparations, claiming that the United States was founded on white supremacy. So let's just watch this little clip as much as we can possibly stomach on this Monday morning, at least. And let's hear what the Proud Family has to say about reparations. Take a listen.
This country was built on slavery, which means slaves built this country. Tilled this land from sea to sea to sea. First there was rice, tobacco, sugar cane. Then Whitney did his thing and cotton became king. And we were its soldiers, 4 million strong. Fighting for America's freedoms, even though we remained America's slaves. Built this country. The descendants of slaves continue to build it. Slaves built this country. And we, the descendants of slaves in America, have earned reparations for their suffering. And continue to earn reparations every moment we spend submerged in the systemic prejudice, racism, and white supremacy that America was founded with and still has not atoned for. Slaves built this country. Not only field hands, but carpenters, masons, blacksmiths, musicians, inventors built cities from Jamestown to New Orleans to Banneker, Washington. 40 acres and a mule. We'll take the 40 acres, keep the mule. We made your families rich. From the southern plantation heirs to the northern bankers to the New England ship owners.
Okay, again. What does this rely upon? Emotion. This is like Black Lives Matter. It just really was an ad for Black Lives Matter. People to be angry. They sound angry when they're on stage. Slaves built this country. Slaves built this country. Slaves built this country. Everything that we have, we owe to slavery and slaves. And this is an argument for reparations. We've heard this nonsense over and over again from people who've never bothered to open a history book. Or maybe they have, actually. Maybe it's because they've opened history books in school that they learn this garbage nowadays. Actually, I would say it is because they open history books that they learn this garbage, which is just completely being washed with progressive ideals and not based in fact at all anymore. I actually had, Mediaite, whatever that website is, write an article, hit piece on me for telling the truth about the history of slavery by saying that the majority of people did not have slaves. Obviously, a very small fraction of
It's just like, who in the fuck are we supposed to trust anymore if it's in school books now, if it's Google is taken over by woke propaganda, fucking the news has been taken over. Like, I don't know who the fuck we're supposed to trust anymore. I would love to know all the facts and numbers behind this shit. Obviously, I know slavery was terrible. Obviously, I know that all the people that went through slavery shouldn't have had to gone through it, and it's unfair to them. And I just don't know if reparations is the right way to go about handling it, because there are countless of groups of people, whether it's race, religion, or whatever, that have been targeted and treated like lesser than humans because of the type of group that they affiliate themselves with. But I don't know, man. It's a touchy subject for a white guy, but I'm all ears.
Uber wealthy people had slaves, people that were fighting the Civil War. It was a poor man's fight and a rich man's war. They were not fighting to keep slavery in place. They didn't have slaves, right? There was other components of the Civil War. People don't like to talk about that. Well, I'm going to say something else that's going to offend people because it's true, right? The idea that this country and the success that this country had is because slaves built this country. History betrays this narrative, okay? Let me first say, obviously, we all know slavery was abhorrent. It was an abhorrent practice all over the world, did not begin in America. And actually,
I want to say, I want to argue with this a little bit, because obviously slaves did do a lot of labor for free, which had to have benefited the country to an extent. But I feel like, if anything, it mainly benefited the plantation owners because they're getting free labor. So if anything, I think it just made the rich richer, and the same amount of work would be being done whether or not they was paying for it or not. Like the demand isn't going to go down just because the workforce is not there. Maybe the supply might go down, so the demand might go up. I don't know. But then again, the North didn't have slavery at all, and they prospered just as much as the South, right? I'm not sure about that, but I would assume so, because, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I just wish that there was I mean, I could Google it and I could find some article telling me real biased information about slaves, and I could find one article telling me real biased information about plantation owners. Like, I just don't, there's not really a informational source to go and check. Even fucking books could be biased and shit. Like, it's just really ironic that at the time that we live in, where information is the most accessible it has ever been, it is now the hardest to get reliable information.
Actually did not begin with white people, right? It still goes on today, and it is Black and brown people that keep those institutions up. And actually, white people were the first people to end the institutions of slavery. France, the United Kingdom, followed by America. We were the first to put an end and to abolish slavery. So there's no question that it was an abhorrent practice. There's no question that it.
When did Black people do slavery? Is there like African tribes or a country of Black people that have slaves? Because I never heard that. I thought even in Africa, Black people were slaves to, well, like South Africa or something. I'm really bad with world politics, so don't quote me on anything. If you want, please let me know down below. But I really feel like from what I've heard that Africa has Black slaves by white, rich Southern Africans or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I probably shouldn't even have said anything.
Leaves a stain on all of the histories around the world, right? Forget just American history. All around the world, it leaves a stain. But the idea that America was built because of slaves is so foolish. There is a reason why when the Civil War ended and when slavery was abolished, America was thrust into the Industrial Revolution, because in the absence of using slaves, they had to come up with something else. And that something else was machines. And people were able to work faster and able to work smarter. In fact, prolonging slavery actually slowed progress down. Are you offended? By?
But you could say that all the money that these plantation owners saved up from slavery could have been funded to fund inventors to make machines to work as a replacement of slavery.
By the truth, I want you to be super offended by the fact that human hands cannot do what machines can do. And so what happened was when they started realizing that we cannot use human beings, we had to come up with machines. They began coming up with all types of machines. And the people that built America were those that were able to come up with those machines, which thrust us into the Industrial Revolution. So be upset, leave a bad comment about it. I really don't care. Actually, write an article. Let the headline be, Candace says that slaves slow down progress, whatever you want that headline to be. But that is the truth. And I'm not ashamed to say it. And
I don't know about truth. That sounded like an opinion.
By the way, guys, I'm not going to leave you on a bad note there. There is hope ahead. You know, Daily Wire announced a while back that we are creating Daily Wire Kids, and that is true.
I think it's an ad. I'm gonna skip. Yeah, I'm in that video there, y'all. Please like the video. If you got anything to say about the video, let me know down below. You know I'll read every single comment. And if you fuck with your boy, will you please give me a subscription? With that being said, deuces.
Just run it up. We gon' run it up, nigga. Run it up. Blue bands got my hundreds up. White girl, snow bunnies up. Said she don't know you ain't one of us. I always kick it with her. You ain't fucking nothing. Why your pants sag? You ain't clutching nothing. Fuck, nigga. You think you tough or something? Come run you something, nigga. I've been out of my mind.